These are the explosive allegations swirling around Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and the Jeffrey Epstein files that have the internet in complete chaos. On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice released over 3 million pages of Epstein documents, and buried within those files sits Jay-Z's name, setting off a social media firestorm that cost him and Beyoncé millions of followers and sparked 50 Cent to announce he's making a documentary about it all. But before we jump into this rabbit hole, we need to separate fact from fiction, because what's actually in these files looks very different from what's being spread across social media. The truth is both more mundane and more complex than the viral headlines suggest.
This most dangerous game, as they referred to it, was a matter of human hunting. And when a mind-controlled slave such as myself was stripped of clothes and turned loose in the woods, I was then hunted by George Bush, Dick Cheney, and Bill Clinton, among others. But they were the main ones.
You're going to stand right next to me. There you go. And then we're going to have...
There you go.
Got it? Okay.
And if you want the back, you can spread out a little bit.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men.
It was a big year for pedophile movies, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein.
He's saying he's not afraid of 50 Cent. Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
There ain't never been no 50 Cent Jay-Z conversations. It's a huge difference.
Let's start with what actually happened on that fateful day when the files dropped. The Department of Justice released what they called the most comprehensive batch of Epstein-related documents ever made public. 3 million pages, 180,000 images, and 2,000 videos. This wasn't some leak or hack. This was the result of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which passed the House of Representatives by a vote of 427-1 in November 2025, with only one Republican representative voting against it. Trump signed it into law the very next day. Within hours of the release, social media exploded when eagle-eyed internet sleuths discovered Jay-Z's name mentioned in what appeared to be FBI documents. The reaction was swift and brutal. Jay-Z's Instagram account hemorrhaged 100,000 followers practically overnight. But Beyoncé took the bigger hit. She lost a staggering 10 million followers, dropping from 308 million to 298 million in just a matter of days. That's not just a number, that's a seismic shift in public perception happening in real time.
Look, y'all talk all that about R. Kelly. Beyonce was on that island where they was...
Damn!
Beyonce was on island. Beyonce and the camel.
Yeah. They said she was in there like, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh.
Right.
I hope I can go see her again.
She was singing and look. If you like it, put your mouth on it. This is what I'm saying. It's like you give her a pass. You give her a pass. She can have a concert and everything after she's a known participant on Island. It's like people want to dismiss it. That's why you can't tell me nothing about what the media say about nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the media is going to make a bad guy out of whoever they want to be the bad guy.
And then, like clockwork, 50 Cent appeared. Never one to miss an opportunity to stir the pot, especially when it involves Jay-Z. Curtis Jackson posted on Instagram, "Damn, they got your man Jay and the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this shit." Just like that, the hip-hop world's most persistent troll announced he was potentially making another documentary, this time targeting his longtime rival. But here's where things get interesting, and where we need to pump the brakes on the sensationalism. The mention of Jay-Z in these files isn't what most people think it is. It's not evidence of criminal activity. It's not proof of wrongdoing. It's not even an official investigation record. What it actually is an entry from an FBI tip line. Back in October 2019, an anonymous caller contacted the FBI's National Threat Operations Center and made an unverified claim alleging that Jay-Z was present at a Florida estate in 1996 during an alleged incident involving Harvey Weinstein. The document explicitly states that Jay-Z was only alleged to have been present when a victim awoke, not that he participated in any wrongdoing. Let's pause here and think about the timeline. In 1996, Sean Carter had just released his debut album, Reasonable Doubt. He wasn't the global mogul we know today. He wasn't running in elite circles or flying on private jets to exclusive parties. He was a relatively unknown rapper from Brooklyn trying to make it in the music industry. The idea that he would have been at some exclusive Florida estate with Harvey Weinstein strains credibility when you consider where he was in his career at that point. Here's what makes this even more important. The Department of Justice included a crucial warning with these document releases. They stated that the files may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents, or videos, as everything that was sent to the FBI by the public was included in the production. Translation: anyone could call the FBI tip line and make any claim they wanted, and those calls would be logged and archived as part of the investigation materials. This is where the story gets really messy. Major news outlets, ABC News, BBC, CBS News, The New York Times, all emphasized the same critical point. Inclusion in these files does not equal guilt. These aren't verified facts or evidence of crimes. They're investigative materials that include everything from credible leads to complete fabrications. But try explaining that nuance to social media, where the narrative had already taken on a life of its own. The damage to Jay-Z and Beyoncé's public image was swift and severe. The couple, who have built their brand on carefully curated public personas, suddenly found themselves at the center of conspiracy theories and wild speculation. What makes this whole situation even more complex is the recent legal drama that preceded the Epstein files release. In December 2024, a woman known as Jane Doe filed a lawsuit against both Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, alleging sexual assault at an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty in 2000 when she was 13 years old. The lawsuit was filed by Houston attorney Tony Busby, who had been representing multiple accusers in cases against Diddy. Jay-Z's response was immediate and fierce. Through his attorney Alex Spiro, he not only denied the allegations but went on the offensive, filing extortion and defamation claims against both the accuser and her lawyer. Jay-Z's statement was uncharacteristically emotional. "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle." But then, something remarkable happened. In February 2025, the accuser voluntarily dismissed her lawsuit with prejudice, meaning she couldn't refile it. Even more damaging to the original allegations, a recording surfaced of the woman telling someone that Jay-Z did not assault her, and that her lawyer had pressured her to include him in the lawsuit. Jay-Z's response to the dismissal was both relieved and pointed. "The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. I would not wish this experience on anyone. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed." This legal victory should have put the matter to rest, but the internet doesn't work that way. When the Epstein files dropped just months later and Jay-Z's name appeared in that tip line document, all the old allegations resurfaced with renewed vigor. Enter 50 Cent, stage left, with perfect timing. Curtis Jackson has built a second career as a documentary producer. particularly focusing on controversial hip-hop figures. His Netflix series Sean Combs' The Reckoning about Diddy became a massive hit, garnering 21.8 million views in its first 6 days and becoming Netflix's second most-watched title that week. The success proved that 50 Cent had found his niche in exposing the dark side of the entertainment industry. His announcement about potentially making a Jay-Z documentary isn't just opportunistic trolling, though it's definitely that too. It's a calculated business move by someone who understands the current media landscape perfectly. 50 Cent knows that controversy generates clicks, and clicks generate revenue. The rivalry between 50 Cent and Jay-Z goes back over 2 decades. It started in 1999 when 50 released How to Rob, a track that mentioned robbing various celebrities, including Jay-Z. What began as typical hip-hop braggadocio evolved into a long-running competitive tension between 2 of New York's biggest rap moguls. But 50 Cent has been careful to frame their relationship as competitive rather than personal. "It's just being competitive," he explained in recent interviews. "There's no animosity between us." That may be true, but it doesn't stop him from capitalizing on Jay-Z's current predicament. The timing of 50 Cent's documentary announcement is particularly strategic. He waited until the social media firestorm was at its peak, when Jay-Z and Beyoncé were losing followers by the millions and conspiracy theories were running wild. It's the perfect moment to announce a project that would generate maximum attention and controversy. But what would such a documentary actually contain? If 50 Cent follows the same format as his Diddy series, it would likely focus on unverified allegations, anonymous accusers, and social media speculation presented as investigative journalism. The problem is that, unlike the Diddy case, which involved multiple credible accusers and ongoing federal charges, the Jay-Z situation is built entirely on dismissed lawsuits and unverified tip-line calls. This raises serious questions about the responsibility of content creators in the current media environment. When someone with 50 Cent's platform announces they're making a documentary based on debunked allegations and unverified claims, they're essentially weaponizing their audience's trust for personal gain. The broader implications of this situation extend far beyond hip-hop beef or social media drama. We're witnessing how misinformation spreads in real time, how public perception can be shaped by incomplete information, and how the authority of institutions like the FBI can be misused to lend credibility to baseless claims. The Department of Justice specifically warned that these files could contain false information, but that warning got lost in the social media echo chamber. Most people saw FBI files and Jay-Z in the same sentence and drew their own conclusions without reading the actual details or understanding the context. This is particularly problematic because Jay-Z isn't just a rapper. He's a businessman with a vast empire that includes Roc Nation, various investment portfolios, and partnerships with major corporations. Damage to his reputation has real economic consequences that extend far beyond his personal brand. Beyoncé's follower loss is especially telling because she wasn't even mentioned in any of the documents. The guilt by association phenomenon in the social media age means that spouses, family members, and business associates can all suffer collateral damage from unverified allegations. As we watch this story unfold, it's worth remembering some key facts that often get lost in the noise. Jay-Z does not appear in Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs. He doesn't appear in Epstein's verified contact lists. The only mention of him in the entire 3 million-page document dump is a single unverified tip line call from an anonymous source making claims about events that allegedly occurred when Jay-Z was still a relatively unknown artist. Meanwhile, 50 Cent continues to build his documentary empire, using controversy as currency in the attention economy. Whether his Jay-Z project ever materializes remains to be seen, but the announcement alone has accomplished its goal of generating headlines and keeping 50 Cent relevant in the cultural conversation. The real tragedy in all of this might be how it reflects our collective inability to process nuanced information in the digital age. We want simple narratives, clear villains, and instant gratification. The messy reality of investigative documents, legal disclaimers, and institutional warnings doesn't fit neatly into social media posts or viral videos. As this story continues to evolve, one thing is certain. The battle between truth and sensationalism is far from over. Whether Jay-Z and Beyoncé can recover from this reputational hit, whether 50 Cent will actually follow through on his documentary threat, and whether the public will learn to be more discerning about information sources, these questions will define how this saga ultimately ends. What's clear is that in the age of social media, your reputation can be destroyed by unverified claims faster than it can be rebuilt by facts. And sometimes, the most dangerous weapon isn't the truth. It's the perception of truth, weaponized by those who know exactly how to use it. Drop your thoughts below. Keep it respectful. And if you love a deep dive into celebrity drama, hit that like, tap subscribe, and don't forget to watch the next video, because what comes after this might just change how you see the entire entertainment world.